It's your boy E.
It's your boy Cam.
Yeah. And you're tuned into
WealthSociety.
Welcome back to WealthSociety. This is episode 4, and we have a special guest, Shaylin.
Hi.
And my co-host.
It's your boy Cam.
Yeah. And so today we're just going to ask a couple of questions to Shaylin. I want to get to know her a little bit better, and I want y'all to get to know her a little bit better. So this is what we're going to do. Shaylin is so tell them a little bit about yourself.
Yes, so I am a recent graduate from Prairie View A&M University. I majored in mass communications and business entrepreneurship. My focus and concentration was radio and television, so I am interested in all things media, radio, television, production, filming, podcasting, audio, the list goes on and on. So.
Cool. A little bit about Cam, just a little quick intro.
Right now, my major is comp sci,
Mm-hmm.
and I currently work at HB overnight.
Cool, perfect. Me, I am a photographer, videographer, and I am also a baseball coach. I played baseball for 10 years, and I recently stopped playing, and now I'm doing just photography, videography, and coaching. All right, so let's get into it. So the first question, Shay, is it cool if I call you Shay, right?
Yes.
Okay. First question is, how did you know you wanted to do media and everything? How'd you know?
Because I always had to be the center of attention at my family talent shows. I don't know. As a kid, I was just very involved in TV and very absorbed into, I was a Disney Channel kid. So, I always enjoyed, Disney Channel, watching TV, and, that was my entertainment. And at those hard times where I didn't have cable, all I had was the radio. So I'll be, sitting on my bedroom floor, just with the radio playing in the background on, a summer night at 9 years old, in my feelings to, T-Pain for no reason. But it just kind of stuck with me throughout, and I noticed over time as technology evolved, I was getting very more interested into it. So I chose the major that fit into that category, and I love it.
Yeah, I remember when I had my first iPod. I was
oh my god,
there's no way this does this. And
all of these songs.
Yeah, and it was crazy because you'd have all these songs downloaded MP3 file, and then you just scroll and scroll. You don't even know what's going on. So nowadays, the kids don't even know what's a radio.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and remember when we used to play outside?
They don't
nothing.
know what outside is anymore.
Yeah,
they don't even go out there anymore.
You don't even see neighborhood kids. You don't see kids playing out anymore.
Hardly, on their bikes, scooters.
Nothing. It's just TikTok.
Basketball is just out there. Four corners. What was that? That game was
jump
roping.
I know what you're talking about.
All of that.
Oh yeah, nobody plays none of that unless you go to school recess.
Jumping to leaf piles, mud pies. I was a rough kid.
Hey, how did you know after high school? How did you know you wanted to go to college?
Well, I didn't have a choice. I was always certain that after I graduate, I had to either go to college or the military. And I didn't want to go to college for a really long time, honestly, because I seen people who had gone to college and just how much of a struggle it was for them. Yeah. I was I don't want to live that life. It looks hard. Why would I want to do anything hard? So nice. But yeah, after high school had went by, I just knew that I wanted better. And I didn't have the easiest upbringing. Yeah. So for me, it seemed like college was the only way to have that successful life. Gotcha. So I was kind of manipulated into it, and yeah.
For me, it was the same way, but I didn't want to go because it was hard. I didn't want to go because all these people that you see, they're successful, they're at college, or not all, but a lot. So if they can do it, I'm just I can do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and for you, was it different or what?
It was. I'm avoiding that at all costs. I'm not.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm not having problems with nobody. I don't know nobody. Nothing. That's my mindset.
You just got a point. Yeah. That's when I went to California, because I went to California to go play baseball, right? I took on debt, right? And that's one thing I did not want to do, but because of baseball, I had to do. So that's actually a big reason why I also didn't like going to college, because of all that money
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you can learn that on TikTok. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it was just annoying.
But then you have to think about it too. Like when we started going to school, like which was, you know, a century ago.
Yeah.
Like TikTok didn't even exist when we had when TikTok did not exist. We had what? Vine. So no one
Vine was gas. I would just
no one cares about Vine anymore.
But we did have Instagram, and we did have what else? Hey, that's all we had, right?
Oh, we had Snap.
Snapchat.
We had Snapchat. We had Twitter.
Yeah.
We had Facebook, and
YouTube.
MySpace was slowly. Yeah, we had YouTube.
And I think that did help us a lot too, like just seeing everybody else's lives. It hurts, but it also definitely helps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seeing everybody's lives.
Like not even just the kids. Like I'll walk around, and like I'll be present, and I'll be like looking at everyone.
Yeah.
And like everyone just be
On their phones.
For real. Nobody knows how to hold a conversation anymore. It's just like you talk to them and they're just like,
they zone out.
I'm just like, say something, bro. I'm like, bro, like, talk.
They don't know how to talk.
I'm trying to
anymore.
talk to you, bro.
They listen to other people talk so much on their phone,
Hey,
like they
that's
don't do it
true.
themselves. So
They
it's
think
like
they don't
if
have
you're
a
not
voice.
Practicing it, communication is important.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Like, the more I do like interviews and like more I talk to people, I'm just like, dang, I don't even know how to talk. You know?
No,
I'm
bro,
just like, bro.
told
I don't know.
my brother the same thing, like the complete same thing yesterday. I was like, honestly, like I feel like I developed like a speech disorder or something over time.
That's
because,
how I feel like.
But I had told him, I was like, honestly, I think it's because don't get me wrong, like I'm a mass comm major, so like being on the radio and being on TV all the time, like I have to talk so much. Yeah. But I was like, I feel like something just happened in these past few years that like all of a sudden like I can't talk to people anymore. I blamed it on the pandemic.
Oh yeah, she's right. Yeah.
I blamed it on the pandemic, being shut in and in isolation from like people for so long.
You got a point.
Like you don't talk to people as often as you did in your everyday life before. So I think just like being absent from that for a while.
Sorry about that. Scam likely. Bruh. I hate those calls.
I block them every time.
I block them, but they still find a way to come back.
They do. They call from a different one. And do what?
I be playing with them. I be wasting their time because they be trying to waste my time and still for me.
That's
so
true.
But when I answer, it's just blank.
Yeah.
It's like they're hacking while I'm talking. I'm like, oh, hell no.
That's exactly what I think in my mind. Oh my gosh.
I'm
I
like,
try to
nope.
put like an accent and everything into my voice, try to sound like I'm not.
And they never answer, so I don't know how they answer to you.
No, every people talking to me. I'm like,
really?
I'm like, oh, word. I'm like, yeah, I'm
give you the credit card info. For real.
That's somebody's occupation.
Going back to college, how'd you get like the most of it? How'd you get like? Do you feel like you got the most of it out of it or no? No. Why?
I could have got more.
Why do you feel like
I had a very lengthy and complicated college journey.
Why?
Long journey, try to make it short. Basically, I started off at one university. I started off at Stephen F. Austin. And I was there for like my freshman to half of my sophomore year before I felt like I didn't want to be there anymore. I wanted to take a whole like semester off. Didn't do that. Instead, came home and attended classes here at Lone Star. And I did that for a semester before I decided, like, I'm not going to go back to SFA. I think I'm just going to transfer altogether. So transferred to PV and finished the rest of my college journey out there. But as soon as I had transferred to PV, the pandemic had happened. Like, as soon as I got comfortable, as soon as I got my feet wet, as soon as I started making friends, like, the world shut down.
That's
so
tragic.
That kept me like locked out of like meeting people, really enjoying like my new school and like being involved. And I still did the best that I could. I made the most out of it. But, you know, with having a year and a half taken away from you, it was hard. And then once we were able to get back on campus, like I did everything that I could because at this point I'm getting ready to graduate in this past fall, which would have been December. But I didn't graduate because I was missing one class.
I hate that, bro.
So, oh my gosh.
That's what I deal with U of H. Trying to transfer, you're missing like 2 classes. I'm like,
and it wasn't even my fault. They weren't offering it that like whole semester. Yeah, I was like, I'm supposed to be graduating in December. Y'all not gonna give me this class? They're like, no. So I had to stay a whole nother spring semester for one class.
Why didn't you do the sped up one?
Like
the mini semester, like the.
Well, because it would have been after the graduation date, regardless.
Oh, okay, I got you.
It would have. Yeah, like mini-mester is like during, well, for us, it was after like that Christmas break, like Christmas and New Year's break
gotcha.
time. That's when they have like small classes that you can take for winter break, but it still would have been after the December graduation date.
Oh, yeah, never mind.
So, but I was like, you know what, whatever. If I'm going to have to stay in school for another semester for one class, like, I'm going to take this opportunity to study abroad.
Yeah.
So I studied abroad, and I went to Costa Rica, and I spent this first portion of this year from January to May in Costa Rica and studied abroad there.
That's dope. You learned a lot, huh?
I learned a lot. My Espanol is muy.
Hey. Yes, sir.
My thing, and you were like, hola. I'm like, why does she sound better than you?
Chill. Nah, I'm fluent, but I need to work on my Spanish.
I'm not fluent at all whatsoever.
You just learned being over there, huh?
I learned a lot being over there because I was completely surrounded by it,
Yeah.
and that was the goal. Like, I went out there because I really wanted to learn it, but I did not do the best that I could out there. I could have been way better. Like, I just didn't take as much advantage of this.
So, as a comm major, like, do you recommend college to people? Like, would you recommend it, or would you say it's a scam completely, or in between?
In between. If you would have asked me freshman year, I would have said this is
Scam.
a scam.
But you say in between because of the connections you make with other people?
Yeah, like if you're able to really talk to someone, and if you're able to like just not even on a networking level, because like sometimes you don't need to like network with people. Sometimes you just genuinely want to make new friends and like meet people and socialize.
Yeah.
If you have the gift of gab and like you're just able to talk to somebody, you don't need to go to a university and spend thousands of dollars to learn how to do that.
You got a point. I feel like a lot of people, like, they don't know how to do certain things, so they think college is going to get them the answer.
Yeah.
But they got to do the homework. Remember how we've been talking about it the past 3 podcasts? You got to do the work on your own, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you play a sport and you go practice, right?
Yeah.
Like, you got to do your own practice at
home.
Outside
of practice.
Outside of practice.
You have to practice.
But people don't,
practice.
I guess they put too much, how do I say it? They expect too much from college.
From the university, like almost everything that I know about computer science and cybersecurity, like I've learned from my own work. Like college, like it's too general and it's not giving me what I need. So
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point?
Yeah. That's how I feel like too sometimes. But I know that there's people you can meet, you can network. So I just keep like, I'm just optimistic about it for my next 2 years.
Don't get me wrong, like it does help. It does help you develop certain skills that you didn't carry before.
Yeah, facts.
But, you know, and however, I mean, regardless, I feel like you were going to develop those skills anyways, regardless if you went to school, if you're not. Like, you need to know basic survival skills.
Were you good at, like, using a camera and everything before
college? I was in the process of learning, but school definitely did
help you more.
It helped me more. But then also keep in mind, like, I was in school when the whole pandemic happened. So when I didn't have my university to depend on to teach me these things, like y'all, I had to go out and learn for myself.
Facts.
So majority of the things I know about my cameras and microphone, like I self-taught me on that. And like I said, I don't think you needed to go to a university and spend
for that.
On that.
Yeah, I'm self-taught with everything.
Like, YouTube teaches you everything.
Yes.
YouTube University is a great school to go to.
YouTube.
That's what I recommend.
I've learned everything in my life because of YouTube. And obviously, YouTube and Google.
So I know this is like backtracking, but like, what do you like when you went to Costa Rica? Like, were you just visiting? Like, you were living there? Like, what do you mean? Like, what was that?
I was living there. I was studying abroad there. So
they have dorms. They have everything, right?
No.
Oh, they don't?
I was staying with a host family.
Oh, that's crazy.
I was staying with a host family. So I had a host mom, and she had 3 children. So I had 2 sisters. One was 19, the other was 16, or no, 14. I actually celebrated her quinceañera out there.
That's crazy.
She turned 15. That was good. And then a 5-year-old little brother. And we had like 3 dogs, 2 cats, and like 7 hamsters.
That's
crazy. It was a madhouse.
She went to a whole different country. Not country, because Puerto Rico is like a...
No, Costa Rica. Costa Rica is a different country.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, from us. Puerto Rico is a part of the U.S.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. I went to California and I lived in an Airbnb with like a bunch of different people. Like it was like a firefighter, like the host, like the house.
Yeah.
And then my baseball teammate, but I didn't know this dude. This dude was sleeping next to me. I didn't even know this dude. So for 4 months, how long were you over there?
4 months.
4 months. It was for me. It was kind of horrible. But then it got a little bit better as you got used
it's
to
an adjustment.
Yeah.
It's an adjustment.
I feel like everybody should do that, right?
Study abroad?
Yeah. Or not study abroad, but like go out somewhere.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Because it helps.
It does. And so that's why like I'm excited now because I'm actually about to move again.
Oh, where?
I got an internship for the rest of this year in Orlando.
Oh.
So I'm moving there at the end of this month. And so I thought about it like after I just got the opportunity like last week.
Yeah.
And so I've been thinking about it. I'm like, dang, I've stayed in a different place for every quarter of this year.
How do you get this? Like, what do you do? Like, just put me on.
He's trying to get the internship.
You have to get. I love traveling. Like
too.
like I don't know if you had paid attention to my Instagram yet, but like I call myself the traveling aunt. I love traveling, so I'm always looking at things and places.
I like traveling,
to get me out.
but as long as I'm doing the work while traveling.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I mean you have to.
I
you have to. The good thing about this though is that you can pick this up and take it anywhere.
That's why I love this. I can take this to a different building and still do the same thing. So that's why I actually love this. How did you know like this was gonna be like a gig, your photography and videography stuff? Like how did you know it was gonna be like
I didn't
your thing? Oh, you didn't?
Well, I knew because like in high school, like I was the person who were like doing the morning announcements and like
you were that person.
I was that girl.
Oh, okay.
I was the morning announcement.
So you've had like some like track record of doing all
but you know the crazy thing is, and like when I pay attention to my journey and I ask myself these same questions too, I'm like, dang, like when I think about things that I was doing way before I even went to college, I'm like, everything that I was doing like from a child to where I am now was preparing me to do this today. Like when I was doing the morning announcements, I just knew that I like being the center of attention.
I like your intro, the sparkle.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I love it.
And it's not cheesy because like the way you say it, it was like cool. Have you heard the intro or no?
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, if you listen to our podcast, like what's the name of the podcast again?
With the dash of sparkle is what I changed it now, but the intro is like me.
I'm gonna put all your
saying
info
my name.
in the video.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We probably added a
Yeah.
comment too.
I probably put Instagram on the bottom or whatever. What's it called? Oh, when you were investing like in equipment or stuff, like did you ever doubt yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I'm investing in my equipment, I'm just like, oh my god, what's the return? What's the return? I want to know the exact amount I'm getting back from this because I'm spending like $400 or $500, $1,000.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not cheap.
It's not cheap at all. This stuff comes with a cost, like for real.
But what's in your head when you're like thinking, oh, I shouldn't buy this?
What's in my head is that like the same thing. Like if I just be consistent with it and like I
That's what we said.
am faithful and loyal to myself and like I'm really enjoying what I do.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's investing in yourself. The same way that we invest into our finances, the same way we invest into our families, our friends, like we have to invest into ourselves, whether it's a hobby, like, you know, working out, like something that brings us excitement and joy, like we have to do it. And sometimes you just have to pay that cost for it. And some of this stuff like you can find at a great bargain price.
Facebook Marketplace, eBay,
like Amazon even has a lot of great options too. You just got to sometimes do the research for it, but you have to know that it is an investment.
When I buy something, I'm just like this is for my future, buy. You know what I mean? Sometimes I do question myself, but sometimes I'm like on point, I'm just buy because I don't care, because I can always sell this asset. It's not an asset, but I could always sell it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I could use it and get an even bigger return. You know what I mean?
You have to get something out of it.
Yeah,
but you also have to very much like enjoy what you're doing.
And it took me a long time to like switch my mindset, but I don't think about money like anymore. Like I think of how I can spend my time more. So I know that money, it will never run out. Like I'm printing it every day. So like, how can I spend my time? Like, if I buy this, will I use my time good with this?
Yeah, he's right.
Makes sense.
No, that does make sense. That's how kind of like how I think about it too. So
if you want to spin off of this, how do you fight the self-doubt? What do you do to counteract that?
Honestly, I'm a very like spiritual person, so praying is like a part of just like my lifestyle. And like I just have to know that if I put good energy out there, like it's gonna return back to me. Like Kim and I was having this conversation a little bit earlier, just like being a good person and just like doing the best that you can to make sure that you know you are an asset to the world too. So I really just try to make sure that I fill myself up with that positivity, because at the end of the day,
true.
like if I don't do it for myself, nobody else is going to do it. Like I'm with myself all day. Like I have to be able to tolerate and accept the things that I do, and really just try to push myself and know like, okay, something good has to happen. Like
something has to give, right?
Something has to give. Like something has to, and just remaining positive and being your own, just like, and being there for yourself, supporting yourself. Yeah.
So Shay has a website. Did you make that on your own?
Everything? I did.
Wow.
I make all of my websites.
How much did it cost to just like the domain, to get it, basically the hosting it, everything? How much did it cost overall?
I'm glad that you actually said domain, because I need to renew mine as we speak. There is a yearly domain, but it's yearly. It's annually. Yeah, it's like $30. No, like it can be. Yeah, it's like $30 to like $50 depending on who you registered underneath. So for me, like my first time ever creating my website was for my cosmetics business. That's by Shaylin, and I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Like I was like, okay, I watched a couple of YouTube videos.
Who hosted your website? The Shopify?
Shopify is where I began. I began on Shopify, and Shopify wasn't working out too much longer anymore.
You went to Wix.
I transferred to Wix. The second time that I did do the website, like when I had refreshed it or whatnot, I had someone else do it for me, because I was like, I'm just not, like, building a website.
It's hard.
It's tedious.
It's hard.
It so
takes like
tedious.
2 weeks, and that's if you spend the whole day on it.
Yeah, because you really have to pay. You don't know how creative you are until like you have a blank canvas. And like once you have like nothing in front of you and the website is just like, okay, add in whatever you want, you're like, what the heck do I put?
Facts.
But like, what do I add?
But I love creating something from scratch. That's why my name is edX Creates. Like I love creating something. So whenever I made my own website, it was just like, oh, I can do a bunch of things, because there's so many tools, so many things, and then you just make something up, and then it comes out clean, or just, you can always readjust it though. So it's hard though, right? It's hard making a website. But so how much did you say? 30 a year?
Yeah, like I think mine is like, I don't know, it's probably like no more than, it's between $30 and $40.
Right. So now you guys know. $40 to $30 if you want.
That's for your domain annually. Now month to month, depending on what website, like now I'm on Wix, and so that's a good like another $30-$40 each month.
How much did you pay the guy to make the Wix website?
I paid these two ladies. They have a beautiful Instagram. They're called Foundation First. I had them create my second one for my cosmetics, and I paid them like $200, $300.
Oh, that's not a lot.
And it was beautiful.
So $200 to $300 to pay somebody, or $30 to just have the website and you do it by yourself.
You still have to, in addition, like to what you pay them, like you still have to pay your monthly expense for the website. But for someone else to create it, it
saves you so much time.
It does.
I'd rather pay.
It saves you time. That's why I was just like, let me go ahead and spend that bread.
You know what? Whenever I make my own website, I'm gonna pay, because I'm not finna. That's gonna take like 3 weeks, and I'm over here doing schoolwork. So
I let them do my cosmetics one. I let them have that one, but my media one, I did all of that from scratch myself.
And so when we were starting this gig, like, how did you get clients, and how did you know how to get them? You know what I mean?
Networking is extremely important. Putting yourself out there is extremely important. When I was on campus, like I was the community engagement director for my student ran radio station, PVU so I was in the producer's chair.
Gotcha.
Like I was the one who was able to like communicate with other clubs and organizations and like reach out to them. Hey, my organization wants to collab with your organization. Let's make
and
that
everybody
happen.
knew, oh, Shay does this.
And everyone knew like, okay, PVU radio, like they're the ones who provide the music, because what's an event without music?
I gotta be a part of something like that.
Yeah, you have to. And like getting to hosting, getting to like talking to people, just like really putting yourself out there and getting your name known and being able to put your name like to a face, to a voice.
That's good.
And that way you have to talk.
And everybody.
You have to talk. And it's so exhausting sometimes.
It is exhausting.
But
I like it.
What comes out of it is like good connections to people, like regardless of if y'all end up being,
you meet some really good people too.
Yeah, like business partners or just straightforward friends. Like you never know what type of relationship you're gonna get out of just simply communicating.
So why'd you start your podcast?
I talk too much.
You need something to just have that talk and leave it there. That's what I do when I go to CrossFit and I go to the gym. An hour of straight pain because I have so much energy, and when I do that in the mornings, now I have the rest of the day to be me, like chill. Yeah. Because I don't know if I do, but I think I have ADHD. So, like I don't know. I think I do because a lot of people tell me that. I'm just like, no, I don't, bro. Like, what are you talking about? But I think that really helps me, like, just like calm down. So it's kind of like for the podcast is for you. So far, has the podcast done what you wanted it to do, or no?
I feel like it definitely could have gone further than what I allowed it, because once I got into it and I was really invested into it, life just got really busy because this was a time that I was trying to prepare for that December graduation.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I actually ended up interning for a podcast myself. So I was more concerned with getting their podcast together that I wasn't paying as much attention to my own. But it was fine because I was still learning so much about podcasting while I was producing theirs.
That's cool.
So making sure that their audio was right, making sure that their mics were all correct. And then we were doing this virtually too. So we were doing this on Zoom. So they were all individually like responsible for having their microphone set up properly at their homes.
It's like a team. You trying to tell them
we're
what
a team, yes. Yeah. And so basically like them, I'm having to,
that's hard.
Because
that's
especially
hard.
Like I'm the student, like I'm the comm student.
I'm
I'm teaching them.
I feel like it's easier to do it in person than online.
It is because, you know, like you're able to just get everybody together. But actually, it was very easy. Like you just have to know what you're doing. Of course, you gotta know what you're doing.
I have a brain.
And you have to trust that whatever you're gonna do is gonna work. So having them all on Zoom at those different locations and like making sure their mics were set up, their sound was okay, doing the mic check and everything from my own couch. Like I'm on Zoom myself. And then going into a software, I use Adobe, and editing it for them and making sure they sound as smooth and crisp as possible. Like whenever they mess up, because we all mess up and stumble over our words sometimes, you know, but I made sure that like I'm an extreme perfectionist. So I made sure like you got to sound good. Yeah. Like you have to sound good.
Because nobody's going to want to watch it if you don't sound
exactly.
Good.
And I believe that anything that you do is a reflection of me and my work. Yeah. So I'm not gonna make you look crazy because I don't want to look crazy. Exactly. Like we all have to look good because when they see that produced by Shaylin is on there, like
that's your name.
It's my name, and I'm not gonna tarnish my name, so I'm not gonna tarnish you as well.
So you said season 2 of your podcast?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. At the end of this month.
Yes.
Right? Are you hosting it? Are you doing it like? You're bringing on guests? Same thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like this whole summer so far has been like me recording and just like either with myself or with other guests. These past few weeks especially has been just like crunch time with scheduling people. I actually have an episode that I'm recording tomorrow too. Yeah. So it was like, okay, great. I got Eduardo today. I got, mine tomorrow. It's
actually fun. Like
it is. Right? It is. I just wrapped up recording in Dallas this past weekend. Yeah. That was fun with just like changing the scenery and the location and the vibe of that. And so I did that with like 3 of my other friends.
I want to do that. I want to just take this, sit down in downtown.
Yeah.
And then just start talking with somebody.
That's exactly how it was.
Because, bro, you did that in your last episode? Did you record it?
Yes.
YouTube?
No, not on YouTube. It's strictly audio. You
should make it.
Camera so bad, but yes, it's gonna be on Spotify. It's gonna be on Apple. Cool. We talked about dating.
What's it called again?
Mine?
Yeah.
With the dash of Sparkle.
With the dash of Sparkle.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Shaylin. Sorry, I changed the name.
Oh, the podcast.
This is Shaylin is the podcast.
This is Shaylin.
This is Shaylin on Spotify.
Links. So, what is like the biggest thing that, like, let me say that again. What is the biggest thing you have implemented in your life and that has helped you increase your network?
Confidence.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Just having more confidence.
Confidence is important because confidence is not only something that is within yourself. It's something that other people notice as well.
Yeah.
And you have to show that. Yeah. Like it reflects. Like it literally starts from the inside and work its way outside.
Yeah.
For me, I knew that I always wanted to be in the public eye. So I knew I had to build up some type of strong wall of confidence because people will try to break you down. Like society is like there are some real culture vultures out there. Like
you got some haters out there.
There are, and people troll so much. No, there was a tweet that I seen the other day. It was like, don't be the bigger person today, be the problem. I was like, you know what? Violence is the answer. Like violence is sometimes people just wake up and just like choose like.
I saw a quote. It wasn't even a quote. It was just like some random Instagram reel or TikTok. It was this. It was a guy, and he was saying, "Since when has it not been cool to try?" You know what I mean? Like,
man,
you're trying to get better at something.
Yeah.
Let's say you're trying to get better at football. You're just gonna be like, "Hi, why are you trying, bro?" Like, no.
Dang.
See what I mean? Like, no. Why would you do that? You see what I mean? So people on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, Facebook, whatever, they're just making fun of you for trying.
That's crazy. You can't even try no more.
Yeah, you can't even try no more without you're getting criticized. Like, I mean, sometimes I like the criticism so I can get better, right?
Yeah,
but when it's the type of criticism where it's just like, bro, really, why? You know what I mean?
I think if we go back to confidence is the key to everything.
It is.
Yeah. And then, like, I was reading in between the lines, and like a lot of the things that Shay said was like, she didn't know what she was doing when she started off. She threw herself in there because she had the confidence to do that, and it takes you far.
Yeah.
Whenever you just throw yourself in there.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't get caught up and start, thinking I'm gonna do this, and then you don't do it. You throw yourself in there and you do it, and you build confidence that way, and it takes you.
Yeah. Hey, that's how you develop yourself as a person. If you want to grow, throw yourself at situations because that's gonna get you the most. You're gonna be a different human being. Like if you just throw yourself at situations. Because I've noticed that I've done that, and it's made me stronger, better person, increased my net worth. You know what I mean? It's done so many things for me. If you just it's like that little feeling you get inside. You're just like, oh boy, just fucking go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just go. So that's. Yeah.
And it hits some nerves too because at the end of the day, we don't know what the outcome is going to be. Like either this is going to be very successful and I'm going to be super surprised at myself that it worked out and I'm going to be grateful that it worked out or this could go terribly wrong. And it's just really a chance that you have to take. And you have to know that in the end, like regardless, you have to have the confidence again to know that regardless, it's going to be okay. And I mean, honestly, truly, this is the hard part. Like me, I always think like a plan B is something good to have, but like recently I had read this quote or this book or I listened to something, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it says something along the nature of what's the point of having a plan B if you don't have enough confidence in your plan A? Thanks. And I was like, okay.
She was questioning herself.
That hurts. That hurts.
It does.
It's like putting yourself fully into it. And it's like you would have peace of mind because you know that you tried your hardest.
And that's one thing, like, I don't want to have a plan B, but how do I protect myself? You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
I'm going to college because that's my plan B. I'm doing the entrepreneurship program there because that's my plan B. I don't want to do it. I don't. But it's a huge risk if I don't try to learn in college somehow. You know what I mean?
It's always good to have insurance.
Yeah, it's always good. So I don't really agree with not having a plan B, but I feel like I agree more with just fully focus on what you're doing.
Diving into your plan
See what
A.
I mean? Diving into it and while having that insurance. You know what I mean? So I like that. So what do you think you're missing in your business? And what do you think, like, what do you wish you had?
Consistency.
I got you. Yeah, that's definitely what I'm missing too. What?
Consistency.
So you wish you had consistency. Yeah.
It's key and it's important and it's important and it's important and it's vital and it's important.
Yeah, facts. What motivates you to like achieve?
Oh man, I have this lifestyle that I have fully had imagined since I was a kid.
That. Yeah, I love that.
And I don't know, like that little girl inside of me, she deserves that. Like she needs that. She needs that lifestyle that I created so long ago.
It's been ingrained. Like you can't.
Yeah,
can't
like
get it out.
I literally have always wanted to build my home, right?